Hello everyone, Untitled, welcome to another redo mod overview, this time on Resource Overhaul. I've done a ton of follow-ups, but haven't covered it since the sort of latest 110 if I remember correctly, and it's now for 112 and 113. I thought I'd cover some of its new features, while also sort of just covering it from scratch since certain things might have changed, or in some cases I actually don't remember certain bits and pieces available. So yeah, we'll get to some of the old, which a fair amount of this obviously is quite a lot of stuff that's been in the mod for a while, and then other things like the gravel ore chain and a few other things. So yeah, so as you can see, there's a bunch of different ores. Obviously, you've got gold or iron pyrite, you've got ruby, you've got titanium, californium, rhodium, there was another star one if I remember correctly. No, that's just the block. And you've got a quartz one that's obviously for the overworld, and there's obviously some nether and end ores of regular vanilla ones. So we'll sort of just go through each one, seeing that what we can break with what. I don't think anything can be broken with. Actually, I think the quartz one probably could, because quartz can be. Yep, so the regular overworld quartz. And then if we go to iron pyrite, you've got obviously gold. You can make that into fool's gold or iron pyrite, which you can make into a bunch of tools, armor, and blocks, which we'll get into. And you've got ruby, which I think requires an iron pick or higher to harvest properly. You get a ruby gem, again, a bunch of tools and armor. Titanium I think can be broken with stone or higher. You get an ingot, and then obviously falling there. You've got californium, which I think requires iron and higher. And you've got the ingot, which is radioactive. So what you need to do to stabilize it is pretty much just have an iron ingot next to it immediately after you've smelted it. And you can also use it as a fuel if you want to smelt 41 items. The nuggets are also not stable, so if you want to stabilize those, or if you already have a stable one, I think you can convert them back to nuggets. Yes, you can. So you can go back and forth between those, and the nuggets smelt 4 each. So that's. And then there is the rhodium, which I assume is also stone and higher, and you can obviously make that into some tools and armor as well. I'm pretty sure the rest of these also just require pretty much the same tool, the iron and the the nether in the end. So yeah, that is end quartz. Yes. All right. Other than that, obviously the other ores drop pretty much, I assume, what you'd expect. So the coal, iron, lapis, and so on. And I assume fortune and other things will work pretty much what you'd expect on these as well. I don't think those have changed too much to be their own. They pretty much just act like typical ores, I think. Yep, so you got that and that, so you're not getting double or anything. And if we do the same here, I assume you're also getting a single one. You're not getting like a double or a triple or anything like that, just because you've gone to find other ores of other possibilities. They're just dimensional versions. Other than that, there is obviously, I guess, real quick, a bunch of different components. There's obviously the gem, the nuggets, and so on. And when it gets to other resources, you've got things like charcoal nuggets. You want the ability to smelt the following amount there compared to the typical amount charcoal provides with 8, similar to coal. You've got clay bits, which you can smelt into brick pieces. You can get from clay balls, and like so. So if you want sort of nugget versions of those, you have that. There's coal nuggets, which you can do fairly similar to the charcoal. Converting back and forth. Diamonds, there's dirt, and so on. There's also dirt armor and this and the other. And obviously the same sort of happens with glowstone, gravel, which you can actually make from... You can make the tools from those? You can use both the block and the pile of, so if you want to use the sort of nugget or dust variation, the pile or dust variations, then you can do that. So the pile will be obviously the nuggets or the ingots. I'm trying to remember. Gravel dust is from a pile of. Yeah, so dust would be your nuggets, you've got your pile of, which is your ingots, and you've got your gravel, which is your block. I was trying to remember how that sort of went along. But yeah, that seems to be pretty much it there. In terms of certain other features that have been removed, the actual throwing of rocks has been removed, I think. Unless I'm missing a key binding. Because I'm pretty sure you just right click to throw it. I don't think it actually exists anymore. I'd have to check my older video covering the original feature, but I think that that's been removed since. So you can't throw rocks, and I don't think you can throw stone pebbles, but yeah, the rocks pretty much being like your cobblestone ingots of sorts, I guess. But yeah, you now can't throw them unless I'm missing something entirely. The key binding, I'd have to check. But yeah, there used to be a feature, I think. Otherwise, a new one is the chain, which is iron bars and an iron ingot, and you can use this for chainmail. Besides, I think it's just an item. It's not a block at all. So making chainmail. And then we've got the raw and cooked chicken as such. So I'll just give ourselves the hunger effect, and there we go. Because we're in peaceful, we're going to change that over and change the weather. This is bothering me. Alrighty, so a raw chicken nuggets, pretty much obviously like so. You can cook them, or you can convert a cooked one if you want. So if you want a bit less, and then a fair amount to eat, you've got that as an option, I guess. And maybe you could probably outbeaten that what regular chicken can do with the cooked one, because you technically get, you know, 3 there, and then you get 9, but you get 1, and then 2, and 3, and you've already got 1/3 of it already giving you quite a bit of hunger there. I didn't just notice that, so that's quite useful, unless it gets tweaked later. But yeah, that's it for like the components and the ores and such. So now we'll move on to the tools and armor.